So morning, Rachel, how are you today?
Morning, Peter. I'm good, thank you.
Jolly good, jolly good. So Rachel, tell me a little about yourself and your business, please.
Okay, so my business is called Mandarine, and I started it in 2013, so nearly 10 years in. I'm sitting in an office here in the Lisburn Road in Belfast, having previously worked from home, first of all in Colinchi and then up in just outside Belfast. So after the pandemic, I just about had enough of working from home. So I am now in an office and growing the business. So yeah, I started in 2013. I'd worked in advertising and communications before that. Taken a break from work. I had twins, and once they were about 3 or 4, I stepped out of work, and then I was ready just to get back in. And sort of 2012, I was sort of mulling over different ideas. And at the time, we had a house down in France, so spending a lot of time down there. And I kept seeing in the little beach boutiques and stuff, little dresses and cover-ups and quirky sort of things that you just couldn't find at home, or I couldn't find at home, couldn't find online. And everything I bought or looked at had a little, there's always a little tag in a garment to say where its country of origin is. So it all said made in India. So I just started thinking, I wonder why they're all made in India, what happens in India. And I started researching it and found out that a lot of the sort of traditional skills of block printing, hand embroidery, hand finishing are thriving there in a way that they're not anywhere else. And they use a lot of natural textiles, natural organic cotton, organic linen. So anyway, I formulated it. I had done business at university and had done postgrad in marketing. So I had some of the knowledge there that I needed to sort of formulate a business plan, which I then took to invest in, seeking help. So they couldn't give me financial help, but they were helpful in putting me in touch with their guy in Mumbai, who I went and spoke to. And he was very helpful in terms of, how to do business in India, some of the pitfalls, the etiquette, and pointed me in the right direction. So that was definitely useful. So after seeing him in Mumbai, I flew up to Delhi and then on to Jaipur, which is where the actual textile, the block printing is centered. That's in Rajasthan. And it was just fascinating. I just came back brimming with excitement, ideas. I thought, this is where it happens. When I was touring some of the block print, I call them factories, but they're not actually factories. They're more like cooperatives and not what you think of as a factory. It's actually very old fashioned. And because I do small runs of stuff, I work with small companies. Anyway, when I was there, I saw some of the other brands that I'd aspired to sort of, become or imitate or whatever. Actually there, the likes of Antique Batik and Christophe Sobat and things like that. So that was really motivating to go, I've arrived at the right place. I just need to make it happen. So I came back, sort of finessed my plan, got some ideas together. And 3 months later, I was back, starting my first collection. And now it's sold, back in the likes of Club 55 down in the south of France is where I sort of first saw the things I thought, gosh, I'd like to do that. And they're now selling it. So it's all sort of come full circle, which is great. Not without trial and error, few forward steps and plenty of backward ones. And a huge learning curve doing business internationally, doing business in India. A lot to learn there, but fantastic experience and hopefully growing the business now.
Yeah, it's a terrific story about from not coming from a fashion background, but seeing something, and the seed was planted, I guess, in the south of France, and then all of a sudden, nine years later, here you are. So that's a brilliant story. Is there any particular business leader that inspires you the most, Rachel?
Yeah, I'm interested in business. I mean, all sorts of business, whether it's Richard Branson, the founder of Nike, his book Shoe Dog was one of my favorite sort of biographies, if you like. I listened to Dario CEO, the podcast, but in terms of my business, I like Christoph Sobat, the way he has done, oriented his business. And I met a guy out in India who sort of helped show me the sort of the real skills, the need to keep supporting these artisans and what have you. It's not just about making money, it's about getting to know how these processes happen, why it's important to maintain them and that sort of thing. And so lots of a whole varied, no one in particular, definitely not.
Oh, okay. And what would you say is the best piece of advice you've ever been given?
I suppose it's resilience, stick at it. There have been plenty of, I suppose, not problems. Everybody runs into the odd problem, but, come up against a few things where, delivery has been late and missed a deadline, or the quality hasn't been right and I've had to, dispose of it, and, organizing how to keep positive about my business, I think is one of the most important things, because quite easy, I work on my own, it's quite easy to get demoralized and think, oh, what am I doing? Why am I even doing this? But one of the main reasons that sort of kept me going, if you like, is that, when I was first sort of formulating the idea, I thought, if somebody else did this, I would go, that was my idea, that's what I wanted to do. So I would have been cross if I hadn't pursued it, and I'd be cross if I gave up the first hurdle, sort of thing. There've been plenty of hurdles, and anybody in business, knows that. So it's having that resilience to keep going, stay positive, and 1 minute you're struggling with a delivery, the next minute you get a lovely email or a lovely message, review on Etsy, and it just, every day is different. So it's, keep going, basically.
Good. I think you've probably mentioned one of them already, but what would you say are your top 3 strengths or qualities as a business owner?
I suppose resilience is quite, one. Organization, I'm relatively organized, which sort of have to be. I travel out to India twice a year for 3 weeks, usually in October and then again in January, to sort of organize the collection, then oversee it and sign it off. So, I'm quite good, I'm quite independent and organized in that way. It wouldn't be for everybody, but now it's like family, I know exactly where I want to stay, I have good drivers. I've always had a great experience in India, so but it wouldn't necessarily be for anybody. And another strength or skill, gosh, I don't know, I'm quite motivated, enthusiastic about it. I'm not great seller face to face sort of thing. That is, I'd rather be behind the scenes, if you like.
Okay.
But yeah, I am motivated and enthusiastic about the business.
All right, excellent. And who is your ideal customer, Rachel? I'm guessing it's possibly not me, but who would your ideal customer be?
No, I do men's shirts as well, Peter. I will send you one if you wear it.
Stand corrected.
My ideal customer is probably somebody, I mean, I sell all over the world. I sell a wholesale out to Spain, Greece, France, America. But it's probably somebody who wants that slightly quirky, individual look, that she's not going to run into somebody else wearing the same thing. It's not, and no disrespect to Zara or anywhere else, but, there are always a few dresses that or the Zara dress of the season or whatever. So she wants something that's different, isn't necessarily identifiable, slightly under the radar brand, and something I think now the you know, she wants to know that it's been ethically produced. It hasn't been mass produced in a Chinese factory or, you know, even a mass produced Indian factory. Mine are all handmade. You know, I personally know the people making them. I personally vetted the factories. So that ethical side of the business, I think, is certainly important to me. It's increasingly important to my customer. And just, I think that sort of handmade, individual quality is important.
And you've been going for 9 years now. What does your business look like in 5 years' time?
Hopefully, the pandemic sort of gave me a bit of thinking time, because obviously people were going on holiday. So, you know, foreign trips were cancelled. And I thought, well, this, you know, could be the death knell for my business, because by nature it is focused on beachwear, so it's cyclical. And I know it's, you know, it's hot and sunny somewhere in the world. You know, the Caribbean at Christmas do a good bit of business, but it just made me start to think I need to broaden out the brand to not rely on one particular. I mean, within beachwear there are lots of different items, and I'm doing men's shirts now as well. But so I'm planning to broaden out. I'm in the process of broadening out the business to incorporate Mandarine Maison, which is more homewares, because a lot of people, if I bring back stuff from India, whether it's table linen, pajamas, things that I've had sort of handmade for myself, people say, why don't you sell that? That's gorgeous, you know, you should make that. So Mandarine Maison will hopefully incorporate some table linens, napkins, a lot of the same block print, you know, processes that are used for garments obviously are huge in producing homewares as well. So, and then also mini Mandarine for some children's wear, because people are also asking for that. And then Mr. Mandarine, which is the men's shirts, and I might be expanding that to more than shirts. So it's a work in progress. This is a sort of trying to get a lot of that collated, you know, this autumn to launch in the spring. So yeah, watch this space. But that was a result of the pandemic, basically. So hopefully it'll be a good thing for the business to, you know, broaden the brand, if you like.
And you mentioned Shoe Dog earlier on. Are there any other books or even a podcast that resonates with you?
Well, I like Diary of a CEO, all sorts of different podcasts, but I'm a sort of varied reader, watcher. I don't have a particular, I do like biographies, but I don't have a particular genre or favorite. I mean, I just read anything from the back of a cereal packet to, you know, I just read a lot. So no particular, that guy, John Robshaw I was talking about, the man I met in India, he's an American man who's made a hugely successful homewares business. Got a lovely book of his, but it was more about his journey in terms of how he fell in love with print and ended up in India doing what he does. So I actually met him when I was out in Jaipur one time, which was really interesting. But no particular favorite. I just pick up anything. Always, when I'm traveling a lot, pick up a number of books and, you know, fly through them. Hence, I can never remember which is the, you know, I read it, love it, think that was brilliant, must remember, and then I'm on to the next one.
Next one. Okay, all right. And what would you say, what's the biggest challenge that you currently face in your business, Rachel?
I think it's, you know, when I talk about broadening out the brand, it's hard to sort of do everything. So it's, first of all, it's a cash flow, I suppose, in terms of investing in quite, you know, significantly more stock. So it's managing that side of things. Pricing is quite an issue, because with wholesale becoming a business, I've always tried to keep my retail prices down. You know, so Northern Ireland is not my biggest market, but still I want to fit a gap between sort of high street and, you know, designer stuff, really. Mm-hmm. So I've tried to keep my retail prices down, which is difficult. And now with the wholesale side of the business growing more, my margins are obviously reduced a lot, you know, with the lower retail price. So I need to do a bit of work on that also, to work out where I need to position my pricing. But working on your own is quite hard sometimes, and it's it's easy to get overwhelmed and think. So it's finding the skill or bringing in. I'm useless at social media. I need to bring in somebody who's actually skilled and interested in that. I've all the high resolution photographs from my shoots, I have all the garments here, but I just don't like being sort of front and central of social media. So it's I need to go out and get those skills and bring them in, this year, and I suppose get more serious about it, and I can't just continue to be a one-man band, I suppose.
All right, excellent. And I can see some of your products behind you, and you've educated me on some future products. So if somebody wanted to browse or to shop with you, Rachel, what's the easiest way for them to do so?
Well, I sell through a number of outlets. The easiest one is probably my own website, www.lamandarine.co.uk. It's actually under slight reconstruction at the minute as I'm talking about. I'm moving on to I'm on Shopify, but I'm moving on to a different theme. So there's quite a lot of rejigging going on at the minute. But you will find, what you're looking for. And another good shopping platform that I'm on is Etsy. And the beauty of Etsy is you get, verified customer reviews, all of which are 5-star, I have to say. So that's good. So Etsy, I sell through Etsy. I sell through another platform called Silkfred. Obviously, Etsy and Silkfred take a percentage, commission. But they do have a very broad reach, so I get a lot of sales through both of those platforms. So there's 3 different ways, or if you're on holiday, depending on where you are, pop into a beach boutique and you might find it. So
fantastic. Oh, that's great. Listen, Rachel Kelly from La Mandarine, thank you very much for your time and sharing your story about you and your business. It's been thoroughly entertaining, and I wish you every success for the future.
Thank you very much, Peter. And I also should have said, actually, because I'm now on the Lisburn Road, I have had clients come in, ring me for sort of personal styling, or to take a few pieces away, because I have samples here and, end of lines from previous years, stuff that didn't go into production. So, for a Northern Ireland person, they can come, take it home, try it, return whatever doesn't suit. Because trying on swim, I don't do any swimwear. Trying on swimwear is quite trying, but it's quite nice to try before you go away. So that's another option also.
Fantastic. Rachel, listen, thanks again. It's been great to hear from you and hear about your stories.